Well, happy Mother's Day to the moms out there. I'm heading to my parents' house to enjoy the day with my mom. Didn't really get to do that too often in the past. Usually I was spending it with my wife, even though she wasn't a mom, and we had talked about having kids. And it's one of those sad stories that just never happened, actually. I was kind of, well, honestly, I was not in a hurry, but at the same time, she was having, her female issues, which over time, unfortunately, led to cancer that she got. And it's just one of those regrets that I'll probably always live with. We never had kids, but you kind of live and learn. So anyway, I'm heading to my parents' house. We'll just record the adventure along the way. Just finished uploading my 10,000 subscriber video. Again, thank you all again for subscribing and tuning in to a little bit of my world. And I'm doing my best to try to provide some entertaining videos despite, my emotional state the last several months. And, of course, the last 4 months since I lost my wife to cancer. But, try to provide, keep trying to provide videos for y'all's enjoyment. And I appreciate the suggestions. A lot of people have suggested some video ideas, and I've tried to do some of them. Others I haven't. I just don't have the time or the ability or what have you there, so you better wait. So frisbee, that's what those baskets are, trying to ring the basket. But my mom, she's, I'm trying to remember, I think 68, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, my parents were retired. And, don't get out much. Of course, me growing up, I was not the best kid growing up. I was kind of rebellious. So my mom and I never really got along when I was younger. And then time went on. I was on restriction a lot. True story, the only real date I had was the prom back in high school, because I was always on restriction pretty much my junior high and high school years, aside from when I was working. I had part-time jobs after school, whether it was working at the theme park, Carowinds. That was my very first job, and they got me a 67 Dodge Dart 4-door. It was a piece of crap car, and it was an embarrassment. Sometimes I got to drive it to school, but most of the time, again, the car would be taken away if I was on restriction, and I would have to ride the bus. So that was always fun. My jobs, I think I worked at Food Lion, bag boy, and then went on to work at a local bowling alley that's gone under a couple different managements, still in service as a mechanic, working in the evenings. And then I'd meet up with my buddies sometimes after I get off of work, which would sometimes be midnight. I wouldn't get home till like 2 in the morning, and then have to wake up for school at 6 a.m. Yeah, those are the times. And then, of course, when they would take my keys away, I would have duplicate sets made, and wait a few days, and then I'd sneak out of the house. We lived on a hill, so it was pretty easy to roll my truck, or my car that I had. I had a 78. I had a 67 Dodge Dart, then I went to a 78 Plymouth Valari Fastback. I actually liked that car. 225 slant 6 in both of them. And I'd roll it down the driveway hill out into the street, pop it in neutral, and then start it up and take off and go meet up with my friends either here on this road, Cherry Road, in the parking lots, or at the lake where I'm heading to now. But I'd meet up with them on the south side of the lake instead of where my parents are at. So, yeah, those are fun times. Hanging out with my friends and, stuff like that. But again, I was just more or less hanging out with my buddies. Didn't really have any dates for the most part. But the taco truck is in business. I got some customers. That's good. And I'm trying to think what else. I skated through high school. I wasn't, I did good in some classes. Others like English or some of the harder math classes, I didn't do so good. But history and science, I did great for the most part. I think I had issues in biology. I wasn't into dissecting frogs and stuff like that. But chemistry and physics, I actually kind of got into. I was into the history and science aspect. Still am to this day. As for English and math, I took trigonometry. Some stuff I actually got into. I took statistical math. Did pretty good in that. For the most part, though, there was like Algebra 2 I started having issues with, and it was just there was just some classes I just kind of skated off in, and then there were others that had some elective courses. I think one of them was called Sleuths and Spacemen. I actually did pretty good. That was an English course. I had issues with my English teacher. I remember this. He was actually pretty cool, but I don't know what I did. I think it was homework or something that I didn't do or whatever. And boy, he got mad at me, and you're going to flunk English. I'm going to make sure you're held back from graduating. Well, didn't know I was taking this elective, Sleuths and Spacemen, and I passed that, I think, with a B or a C or something like that, and wound up graduating. And he was shocked. I was like, guess I'll see you on, when I'm walking across the stage there, Teach. I can't remember his name, but yeah, it was kind of funny. But again, that was just part of my rebellious ways. The only freedom that I had, because I was on restriction pretty much, like I said, my junior high and high school years, was either in school, hanging out with my friends, or working. So, right now I'm stuck behind a monster diesel and his chooch and exhaust. Figures. But, we're actually coming up on the road here. Not too long ago, just, not far past where this truck is turning. An 18-year-old girl was found. I think they're originally from the Virgin Islands or something like that. And she had disappeared for a few days, and they found her body, I think, up here at this bridge. Looks like they've got some flowers and stuff sitting here. Yep, they sure do. Wow, I saw this in the news. But they found her just 20 yards along the creek bed there. It's really sad. So, there's a mother that's not enjoying today. But they had a big meeting here at this church about it. But apparently she didn't take her medicine, and she had suffered from like convulsions or something like that. And not sure why she wandered away from her home, which was not far away. It's actually at the signal coming up about a mile. She walked down this road, and just not sure. They don't say there was any foul play. It was just they just don't really know. Just didn't take her medicine and just walked this road and ended up at that creek, and that was it. That was the end. So that wood for sale, $55. Oh, you gotta be kidding. It's a bit steep. But anyway, just going back to my high school days, I was kind of rebellious. I wasn't the best kid growing up. Then I went in the Navy, and I think that was it. My parents were just so fed up with me. A lot of boats in the repo lot here. Yeah, they were fed up. They were like, you're going to be out of the house when you graduate, or you're going in the military. And I was like, well, you know what? I guess I'll go in the military then. So I did. Went in the Navy. I was choosing between the Air Force and Navy because, again, I was pretty smart, even though I wasn't, my grades didn't reflect that. Because when I took the military ASVAB test to join the military, I was scoring high in the mechanical aptitude and some of the other areas of the test. And that's how I got into nuclear submarines. And I think, my parents were real proud that I actually made it into submarines. And I think their next big thing was hoping that I wouldn't, screw up and get kicked out. And I didn't. I stuck with it. 5 different subs in 4 years, and they were kind of being, decommissioned. That was a time when I went in, and the older class submarines were being taken out of service one by one. And made it the 4 years and got out. And again, I didn't really visit my parents much, like, making these road trips. They're becoming more frequent now because, time goes on, it's like, time heals all, so to speak. There for a time in the 90s and even in the 2000s, I just really didn't come out much to visit because, again, the arguments sometimes would continue. And, I just didn't want to get stressed out. I didn't want to stress them out. We just had our differences of opinion on various topics or subjects or whatever. And, so I just kind of, stayed away. I mean, they don't live but 15 miles away, which is where I'm heading now. But they just kind of kept, I just kind of kept to myself for the most part. I had my wife, Yadi, and of course we were busy with our business and stuff, but, now, especially after losing my wife, now it's like, we're talking a lot more and seeing each other and stuff like that. So it's just, difficult time for all of us. RV's still sitting on the lot here at the old Sandlapper. $1.93 for gas at the BP. Boats, yep. We're heading to a part of the lake that's real popular around here. Looks like we're heading to Pier 51 for Mother's Day. Well, you have fun there, Bo. I'm going to continue on. Something new is getting done here. New expansion of power grid, probably. Yeah, so that's a little bit about my teenage years. I don't think there's many teenagers out there that don't go through that rebellious stage, like, you want to do something that gives you an adrenaline rush. And, there's plenty of stories of me, I'm sure, I didn't think I was that bad. But, of course, that's me, I knew what I was doing. I felt like I did. I knew what I was doing, but... my parents were real strict, and I think that kind of amplified my rebellious stage. So, sometimes it kind of takes them to make you face reality that you're not expecting, sometimes. So, so I guess you could say, I can thank my mom for at least I got raised for the most part to stay out of trouble, or they did their best to keep me out of trouble, even though I felt it was a bit restrictive. I guess I turned out all right. Never had any issues with the law other than a DUI that I should never have got. Actually went to court and fought it. That was in '96, around the time I bought my house, over 20 years ago. And at the time, the officer pulled me over. I was speeding, and that's what he got. That's what they could have got me on. But the guy had a power trip going, and I was 3 blocks from my house. And of course, my parents found out, my mom especially, and she just was livid because she was helping me buy the house that I'm in now. And she was telling me, you may have just lost your house if you get convicted of this. I'm like, Mom, I wasn't even drunk. Blew a .08 back when the limit was .10. So I was 2 points below the legal limit, but it was the officer's discretion, so to speak. I was like, well, that's, I even told the officer, I'm going to see you in court, because this shouldn't have happened. Still had to pay an attorney almost $1,000 to get out of it, but hey, it was the best $1,000 that I spent because I did. I got out of it, wound up getting reduced to a 4-point speeding ticket, which is what it should have been, and I could have gone to court to get it reduced to 2, but got it reduced and everything was fine. Never had another DUI after that, so I learned my lesson. But again, hanging out with friends, that's what I did back then. Now, times have moved on, everybody's in their 40s and got families, and you can't really hang out with the friends that much anymore. So, for me, starting this year, I'm just, again, trying to find new ways to keep myself occupied, and one of them is making videos, continuing to make videos. Don't really have any friends that want to be involved in my videos, which, that's understandable, that's fine. We'll check out the pasture as I talk, but yeah, I'm just kind of reminiscing on memories and trying to think of my future and changes and all that. So, but yeah, other than that, this will probably be a fun Mother's Day. Hopefully we won't argue about past issues or whatever, because that seems to crop up. My mom is real opinionated. My dad's pretty laid back. Me, I've got my own opinions, but I don't force them down. I don't force them down people's throats, so to speak. So anyway, we'll get on the 4-lane here and continue the vlog. All right, so today is dedicated to moms out there. So hope you all have a good one. Father's Day is next month, and I'm not sure if I'll get back out here for my dad, or again, all depends on what's going on in my life, if I've got a job or whatever. So it's quite possible. Just see in a month. There's a fancy trike. All right, here's my turnoff. There's a monument that was put up here. Yeah. There it is. It's a historical marker. Dedicated to the slaves. Yeah, back in here there's a slave graveyard from going back to I think 1800s. That was recently found, and it was just now dedicated like in the last week. I was going to try to make it out, but couldn't because had customers coming in, but it sounds like it was a real important thing, because people from Liberia were actually coming over for the dedication. Liberia and Africa, where a lot of the slaves originally came from, and it actually is, I think, the only marker that makes mention of the KKK in this area way back then, and a lot of the traumatization that was being done to the slaves back then, and it's just like a lot of history. I wasn't here for it, but it sounds like it was real impressive dedication that they had. So, actually, my mom was here, as a matter of fact. She was actually here, part of the dedication, and learning about the history. So, me as a history major, that would have been interesting if I could have made it out. But so other than that, I'm trying to think. I'm almost here anyway, so I may wrap up the old vlog for now until after the fact, and maybe see a little bit on the way home. That's something real quick. I'm noticing utility construction. They're getting fiber optic internet cable out here. Yeah, ditch witch and all. Red cables. Yeah, they're getting fiber optic, and we haven't even got it in my location yet. I'm in the city limits. Go figure. Neighbor's got himself a bus. Holy crap. A bus camper. Jeez, must be nice. Well, there's the camping bus. Heading out. Yeah, that was fun. Just spent a few hours out here. Some lunch. So that was cool. Yeah, again, just reminiscing on old times.
System ready.
Yeah, system's ready. So, there you go. Little golf cart touring along. Guess that's not a big deal here. Huh. Yeah, it's getting a little warm now, 82, and it's even warmer in the sun. So, yep, the heat's about to start moving in to our area this coming week. Looks like upper 80s, near 90. Yep, I have to kick the AC on pretty soon. Yes, and the houses with no yards. Oh, fancy looking. Yeah, I hope I didn't bore you guys with some of the the long-winded vlog on the way out here. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, I was just talking, just kind of rambling. Yeah, it's Mother's Day, but again, I'm going by memories of how I was as a kid and my punishment. And yeah, those weren't so fun times. Back on the 4-lane. There's someone hauling their pontoon boats. Yeah, and of course my parents, they didn't want to be in my videos, so it was more or less just hanging out, and we watched Saturday Night Live, which is always funny. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. Just hanging out with Mom for Mother's Day. Mulch, got plenty of that on the site, next to the old lumber yard. 189 at the old Murphy. Packed at Wally World for Mother's Day. Wow. That's got to be fun. Another shady car lot in the rock garden. And some big giant bling blings on a caddy. Good, 195 at Mr. Express. Look at many people are getting gas there. Looks like the old Roo is now a convenience store. They took out the pumps and everything. Huh. Good. Behind a chromed out motorcycle, getting blinded by the chrome. Great. Dollar General. Yeah, that place right there used to be my mom's real estate agency back in the 80s and 90s. Actually, I think this was the original location before it got demolished. So, yeah, times change. Man, a lot of traffic out all of a sudden. Everybody's creeping along. Good, is the old Harley hog getting out of my way? Yeah, good. Mail delivery on a Sunday. Looks like fun. The old 7-Eleven is $1.87 for gas. Same with the old Shitgo across the street. And a quick drive by the future Starbucks and whatever else is going in there, which I do not know. So, well, there's that mail truck again. I guess I took a wrong turn. Should have went the other way. It's all right. Yeah, looks like they're putting up one of those fake stone walls over there too. That'll look interesting. Yeah, I made a mention of that before. The mail truck that's in front there, they work you pretty much 7 days, and trying to get any time off is like pulling teeth, it sounds like. Plus, they don't hire you permanent. I know at least one or two guys, I made a mention of that before, working there a couple of years now, and they still haven't hired them permanent. So that doesn't sound very promising. Yeah, anyway, as I'm about home, I guess I'll wrap up this Mother's Day vlog to and from my parents' house. So until the next thrilling video, adios.